the chairman of the full committee for his combined opening statement and such questions as he may have.
I don't know if I have that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judge St. Eve, so you're requesting a 9% increase, is that accurate?
That's accurate.
How many, what's the federal district, is it 677? How many federal district judges?
It is around that.
Around that number? Yes. What's the average, what's the staff size for, what's a budget for your typical federal district judge, and what's the staff size that they would have working for them and for the court?
So for a typical district court judge, they have 3 staff members. Judges can make a determination if they want 3 law clerks or 2 law clerks and a judicial assistant. In addition, the district court judges have a court reporter and a courtroom deputy, although those positions...
What's the total number then of all those?
That's 5, but in some districts, the courtroom deputy and the court reporter are shared. So one district court judge does not have his or her own courtroom deputy or court reporter. That varies by district.
And each judge has, you said, 2 or 3 clerks?
Correct.
Okay. Of the 9% increase, how much of that's going for security?
The 9% increase, our security account is asking for $892 million.
And what percentage of that is that of the overall 9%?
A little under 10% of our budget, the full budget. So $894 million of the $9.4 billion is for our judicial security account.
Understand, but you're asking for an additional you're asking for a 9% increase. Of that increase, what percentage of that 9% are you devoting to security and going forward?
I think our increase for the judicial security account is a 19% increase over what it is now. That's comparing it from fiscal year 25 to what we're requesting.
Or maybe I'm okay. You're overall, what's the overall dollar amount you're asking for compared to where you're at now and what you're going to have for the next year? In
just judicial security or overall?
Overall.
So the overall amount that we are asking for is $9.4 billion for fiscal year 20.
And that's an $800 million increase over last year?
That is about a 9% increase over last year.
And what's that dollar amount?
The dollar amount, I have to...
My understanding is you're asking for an $800 million increase. Is that accurate? $800 million.
I think that is accurate.
Okay, and of that $800 million, how many of what's the dollar amount going for security?
The total dollar amount going to security is $892 million, and that is about an increase of $142 million over 25.
Okay, so
so out of the, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, say it again. Go ahead.
Out of our overall increase, $142 million is in the court security account.
Okay, so that means $658 million is for other things.
Yes.
And where's all that going?
Defender services, we're asking for $1.8 billion. The S&E or salaries and expenses account, we're asking for $6.9 billion, and that salaries and expenses goes to cover people and buildings primarily, and IT.
But now you're giving me the total number. I'm of the $800 million increase, you said $142 million is going for security. That leaves $658 million new dollars. Where's that money going, the new dollars?
So the additional increase is $800 million from the prior year. I don't have this broken down into percentages.
Well, just give me the dollar amount.
So the dollar amount for defender services, the additional amount we're asking for is $315,000 roughly. We're asking for a little less in fees and jurors. We're asking for the $141,000 in court security. $100 million in court security.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean, again, I think members are comfortable. I've said this all along. We're comfortable with making sure there's security. We're not so comfortable giving increases in everything else. I think that's where members are. Certainly the folks I represent back home, I think that's where they see it. That's our concern, particularly with some of the decisions we've seen. So With that, I would be happy to yield my remaining 12 seconds to the chairman.
I'll take all 12 seconds to place in the record, and it's a video, so I'll just extrapolate the statement. On the 1st of April 2025, the speaker's comments that were earlier referred to verbatim are, "We are not defunding the courts. We're not doing anything other than limiting in this legislation the ability of a judge to issue a nationwide injunction." I want to make it clear the Speaker of the House very, very clearly had no intention of saying that there was going to be any limiting of judges on an individual basis, but rather the nationwide injunctions, which was a bill that was passed out of the House. And with that, I go to the gentlelady from California.
During a House committee hearing, the chairman of the full committee questioned Judge Amy St. Eve, who appeared on behalf of the federal judiciary, about a proposed 9% budget increase for the courts. Judge St. Eve confirmed the judiciary is requesting $9.4 billion for the next fiscal year, an increase of about $800 million over the current budget. She noted there are roughly 677 federal district judges, each typically supported by 2 to 3 law clerks, a judicial assistant, and shared access in some districts to a courtroom deputy and court reporter. A major focus of the questioning was judicial security. Judge St. Eve explained that $892 million of the total budget is allocated to court security, representing a $142 million increase, or roughly a 19% jump compared to the previous year. That security increase makes up about $142 million of the $800 million total budget increase, leaving approximately $658 million for other expenses. When pressed on where the remaining funds would go, Judge St. Eve said, Defender Services would receive an additional $315 million. Salaries and expenses, which cover personnel and courthouse operations, make up the bulk of the remaining funding. Smaller adjustments were also included for juror fees and court operations. The chairman emphasized that while lawmakers broadly support funding for court security, there is growing concern about approving increases in other areas, especially in light of controversial judicial decisions. He said many constituents are uneasy about expanding court budgets beyond security needs. Before yielding time, the chairman entered into the record a statement from Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, dated April 1, 2025, clarifying that Congress is not attempting to defund the courts. Instead, the Speaker said recent legislation is aimed solely at limiting the use of nationwide injunctions, not restricting judges individually. The hearing then moved on to the next member for questioning.